You know what I mean? But that was the first joint. That was the first joint. Like, we ain't know nothing about nothing. Like, we never had tutors on what we was doing. You know what I mean? From recording the studio, like, we had dudes that did it a little bit. Like, Beatmind did it a little bit, but we all stepped into this lane. Like, when they say enter the stage, like, we really entered the stage and took it on and started, carving our own niche. So we part of, it's good and bad because we became accustomed to our own habits, and
Right.
we missed out on a lot of gems and stuff like that. But it taught us a lot. It taught us a lot, man. Word is
Can,
bond.
can you take us back to the point where Smith and Wesson, the firearm company, approached you guys to change your name?
Oh man, these guys came. They came hot. They came hot, man. They came hot. We dropped on '95 the album, and we was getting hit in '96. What you gonna do in '92? Cause you know you had fun in
In
'91. Like,
91.
oh shit, we gotta stop them Negroes. What they think they doing over there? Bucktown and all of that. Like, wow, we ain't get a chance to shake out nothing. We ain't get a chance to do nothing really. Like, we just came out and started making the room for Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Putting our due diligence there, building up the team and all of that. Um, and again, like I said, we didn't have a lot of tutelage. We didn't have like this crazy team behind us, a legal team. Like a lot of artists, they come out, they have all these different people that's in their business already. We ain't had that. You know what I mean? We had Jules, salute, Hyro, salute. We had it was just us, man. We had us and the little bit of knowledge that Drew Hyde accumulated from working at Nervous Records. And Buckshot is a genius. He's just like a genius. Like, he just knows like he knows stuff that's out of this plane. Like, he understands things way different. And sometimes it takes me a long time to understand him. I call him Space Cadet. That's my brother. You know what
No
I mean?
doubt.
But he's a genius. So it was fun, like, learning. Like, we spent a lot of times on Franklin Avenue in Union, like under the moon, this building. Start when the sun dropped, and we just out there till the sun come back up. You know what I mean? All night for no reason. Just like, we ain't going upstairs. We
Right.
live right there. You live in that crib right there. We go lay on the couch, but nah, we gonna stay outside all night and just build and smoke reefer and reason with the dreads and watch how the hood dynamics and stuff like that. But those lessons what carved us, man. What gave us the ability to kind of communicate a little bit more better when we was on these tracks and stuff.
How did who came up with the name Cocoa Brothers?
That was something that we was using. Like, me and Tech, when we was on the ride with Black Moon, we used to always bring weed to the studio. We was broke, but we'd find some marijuana. And at the time, the weed of choice was the chocolate. So we always brought the chocolate. We would find the chocolate weed. Snoop Dogg dissed us. You know what I mean? He said that's dirt. But to us, you know what I mean? To the yardies, that's the yard weed. The yard weed is the guard weed. So we would find like all of the different variations of the chocolate. We had mad weed spots around me in Brownsville, dozens of weed spots in Bed-Stuy and on Franklin. So we would scout. We was the scouts for Black Moon. we would bring the nonsense to the studio, and we would just be like, yo, we just I guess affectionately became the Cocoa Brothers. We always had the chocolate bud, you know.
Right.
And it was,
Uh,
just to say this, to add on, like, we always have like these different pseudonyms, and within the crew, everybody has like dozens of names that we call each other, and they normally start out being fun names, tags, and then they just stick. You know what I mean?
right. Did that name change?
Thank you, Lynette.
Did that name change affect the momentum of Smith and Wesson, or did it have no effect at all?
It definitely changed the momentum. Again, like, we still, we lacked in the fact that we didn't have tutelage and somebody that could direct us in the shift like that. Our fans are swift, though. Our fans are swift, and they was able to catch on, but they didn't understand why it went like that, and we didn't give them a real good explanation And that's our fall. Rasta bar, right? Salute, family. Wellness salute. You already. Um, but I give thanks for conversations like this, so now we can have the discourse because,
Right.
after coming off of like your first album, The Shining, and then you like, yo, I want some more money. You go to your label, you're like, I want some more money. Your label's like, yo, chill, we got a contract, yo. By the way, here's a cease and desist. It's a whole playlist of why you about to just chill out. So we had to, as far as changing the momentum, we knew we had to switch up, but we still wanted to make music. We just started. And we decided to use Cocoa Brothers because we did not want to use Tech and Steele. We didn't want to give anybody the power to go, yo, I own that name, Tech and Steele. Like, so we say, all right, we got to come with another pseudonym that we use. We had Smoking Guns. They was like, that's way too, that's wild shallow. So
Right.
Cocoa Brothers to us was like, it was a flip. We figured we could do a little bit more like that, have more fun. We ain't got to be too serious because we already know the threat that the name Smif and Wesson imposed on a lot of people in the first place. So, yeah, we
Right.
went through a lot of that stuff, bro. Word up.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I don't think we really got a explanation back in the day. Magazines were pretty vague, so I
Yeah, well,
appreciate you.
well, what I will say is that Smif and Wesson, the gun company, in their suit, they they included like a lot of magazines, publications. They was basically shutting us down. It's like anybody that promotes us, they going after them. So we was kind of blacklisted as soon as we came out the gate. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? So we had to figure out some other means of maneuver. Swift and changeable, always maintainable. You know what I mean? Peace to the guards and earths.
No doubt. In '97, you finally got to make an album with your brothers, For the People.
Yeah.
Personally, how was that creative process for you since you were more involved with just working with tech? How was it now working with a whole group of people creatively?
Um, it was insane, man. It was insane. It was hectic. It was hectic, bro. That was like a hectic album to put together. Like that's probably like one of the hardest boot camp albums to put together because we didn't know what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? It was way too many working pieces, and nobody wanted to just go, yo, I'm the leader. Nobody wanted to RZA that shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't have
Right.
no RZA. We ain't have somebody that can go, yo, you here's the beats, you rhyme to this. No producer could come in there and do it like that. So we pretty much was in charge of our own thing. It was an animal house, man. Like everybody wanted to rhyme to their own type of vibe. It was a lot of issues with synchronicity. Me and Buckshot had got the bug of we got bit by the bug of listening to live music. So we wanted to incorporate more live instrumentation into the project, and a lot of the brothers was like, "Nah, yo, we ain't with it. We need a primo beat.
Right.
we need one of them Pete Rock beats, yo. We don't need all that live instrumentation stuff, man. Get out of here with that."
Right.
Broadway,
Um,
what up?
were you pleased with that project overall?
With the for the people.
Right.
Overall, for me, man, I think every book on the shelf is worth reading. You know, I think that marks a beginning point for all of us. That shows where we started at as a unit, and that one unit was a bunch of young brothers trying to make some good music. I think we got some good songs out of that project.
Right.
I'm grateful for that. Um, and going forth, you can see the growth and evolution.
Can you remember what the fans' reaction was like to that album? Was it positive? Was it like, what's up with the live instrumentation? Can you remember the reaction from the fans?
I think it was a mix. I think it was a mixed reaction. I think we got because we coming from this boom bap underground dirty sound, and yes, it's kind of a little bit of a shift. But music is also shifting. You can only hope that your fans are growing with you and not
Right.
without you. So we took a shot with that. And as we do today, like you see music now, a lot of music now is just whatever it is, and you either like it or you don't. So
Right.
I think I'm proud of that album that we was able to, I guess, step outside of our comfort zone and just having a bunch of producers just loop up tracks, and we just rap to the beat. We got more involved with the production. And again, like I said, Buckshot is a genius. And I salute the homie Mark Brown, Franklin Avenue, finest, Crown Heights, salute, FAP.
Right.
You know, we learned a lot from that experience, man, for sure. Night
And
Riders, you know what I mean? We got to do the joint. We got to do the remix joint with Aaliyah. That was a blessing.
right.
You know?
In '98, you guys returned with your sophomore album, The Rude Awakening. What was the plan going into that project, and what adjustments did you make from The Shining?
The Rude Awakening was just what it said, man. Like we was still a little pissed off, but still informed. Um, we got with priority. We got a lot more money. So and we still had creative freedom. And at the time I just got hired. I got a new job as like the A&R of Duck Down, because with that deal came Duck Down's new office in Broadway, on Broadway, 18th. Or New York cats, y'all know, and yeah, a lot of y'all know, y'all been up there before. We had an office right on right around the corner from Bad Boy. So we was feeling kind of big. We was the New York priority. We was priority East, pretty much. We were the first guinea pigs of that movement.
Right.
So for us, you know, being New Yorkers, we just did what we did in the New York way. We had a lot of connects, and we reached out to people. But me, I was on my hood rat shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I didn't want to mess with like name producers. I wanted to split the pie with cats that wasn't as exposed yet. And I'm glad we did that, because we got joints like Black Trump. You know what I mean? Big up to my man Self Service from Queens. Like, these brothers was making joints. They was working with Onyx and all of that. But when we did that joint with Raekwon, that kind of put it above the level. We raised the level on them. And it's a couple of other cast of producers that we work with, and we just changed. We switched our sound a little bit. It took people a little bit of time to get used to it, but it's just like, you know, the same thing. Like, as for the people, like we are always evolving and always growing and changing and adding and subtracting from our style. So
Do you think the name change affected anything about the album as far as the consumer?
yeah, man, I think again it's good and bad, because there's people who never heard The Shining, and their first impression of us was Cocoa Brothers, Rude Awakening, and they fell in love with that. And then they had to go back and do the history of The Shining. It's like, oh wow, okay, you know, and so on and so forth with Reloaded. You know, like when we came back with Reloaded, we had such a hiatus. I believe the hiatus was like 6-7 years or something like that after the Rude Awakening. So we was sitting up for like years. Um, after we did Rude Awakening, we had, you know, we was discussing albums with Raucus, which didn't pan out. So Reloaded was us now going and salute the Black Moon, salute the Buckshot and Drew High for going, yo, you know what? We got a big enough roster to just go as an independent label. You know, we don't have no overhead. We don't have priority giving us the front money to keep the lights on in the office and so on and so forth. And we don't have to court these different Def Jams and Virgin Records, and we don't have to court these people. We're going to sit here, we're going to tough it out, we're going to rough it out, we're going to make our own music, and we're going to make our money off of it, and we're going to break bread. So that was us getting into that groove. So when you get the triple threat, you got these guys who are stepping up to the plate, Sean Price, Tech and Steele, Buckshot, along with Ninth Wonder and his team, and just really locking in and just, you know, putting our flag down.
Right. In 1999, you guys released the single Super Brooklyn. Can you take us back to not being able to use that track, but instead it leading to other opportunities?
Yeah, Super Brooklyn, man. Big up to the homie DJ Rob from Queens, Jamaica side. He created that joint. We used to create at the studio called 7088. Big up to my man Rob. He created that beat. keep it 100. Tech was like, I don't really like that. What is that? What is that game room ish right there? I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, dude, this is crazy. If we rhyme to this with that, we put the back to back to this, it's just gonna sound nuts. Like dudes can rhyme to it, but the way we gonna rhyme to it, flipping the beats, I mean flipping our lines like that, it's gonna be crazy. So that's what I was thinking about. And as long as I can convince Tech to rock out, I think he gonna, you know, he gives it his all every time. We couldn't use it for various reasons, but then when we got with Raucus, they was convinced that it was a high possibility that we can get it cleared. But you talking about Hasbro, right? I think like this is big. This you might as well try to get a gun clearance from Smith and Wesson Gun Company, right?
Right.
Like, let me use that, son. Let me just. They like,
Right.
nah, family. Like, yo, TK, salute. Noonberg 10, salute. You already know. Mobb Deep. That's the family right there. But that, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was difficult. You know, we had hope, but what's real about songs of that nature, like why you trying to get a deal off that song, like you said, it creates different opportunities and it keep you in the mix. Maybe it keep you on the radio. Maybe it keeps you, you know, on the mixtapes. You gotta think like one of our biggest songs was "I Love You," the remix with Mary J. Blige. That was never released on no nothing. That song was never made to be sold. You know what I mean? Salute to Puffy, salute to P. Diddy. But this guy would make like dope remixes just for DJs. Like just
Right.
for people, just for the fans to go, yo, you heard the new version of la la la. Like, so you be in the mix, and you gotta realize that money doesn't always come in the form of like this legal tender. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that was a blessing for us to have that Super Brooklyn joint.
No doubt. Instagram is going to kick us off here in a minute. Do you
Yeah,
possibly have another 15 minutes to spare with us?
for sure, brother, for sure, for sure.
Okay. I'm going to
Salute
log
to
off.
everybody in the room real
No
quick, man.
doubt. We
Salute Fury of
appreciate you.
Guns.
I'm going to log off real quick and just join me in a second.
Okay, say less.
All right.
Peace.